Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda. I'm your host today, Jamil Rashid, and today I have very special guests, two very special guests. The first I'd like to welcome Sheikh Muhammad Salah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair. And the second I have with me Sheikh Yusuf Estes, all the way from the United States of America. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam. But I have to correct you. I'm from Texas.
Isn't that America?
Not anymore.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, as you see, we're going to have a lively Ask Huda today. Please don't forget our telephone numbers. The country code is 202, then it's 38555 248 or 249. Of course, you can send emails at ask@huda.tv. Sheikh Yusuf, I'd like to start with you today. I've got a question from Brother Muhammad from Sudan.
Okay.
Now he says...
From where?
From Sudan.
Sudan? I like Sudan.
MashaAllah.
It used to be part of Egypt.
That's true. It did,
This used to be like one huge... Well, go ahead. What's the question? What's his name?
You can't keep stopping me like this. I'm going to laugh all the way through. Okay. His question is regarding some questions from some of his non-Muslim colleagues.
Okay.
They've asked him about Islam, saying that, isn't it a religion of peace? He says, yes, it is. Then they say, what about this incident of Bani Qurayza, where over 600 Jews were killed?
Bani Qurayza?
Yes.
At the time of Medina.
Bani Qurayza, and
Yeah.
over 600 Jews were killed. He wants to know, if Islam is a religion of peace, why were these killings allowed?
Well, first of all, we thank him for the question because, he did the right thing by coming to the source.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we would discover immediately from this is that we don't say that Islam means peace.
Mm-hmm.
We say that Islam is the submission to God, and it's the obedience to His commandments, and then being at peace with whatever is a result of that. So the peace is between us and God after we've submitted to Him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Allah has ordered us to do something, then we must do whatever it is He's ordered us to do. The second part of the question, though, implies that there is some kind of a religious prejudice going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say Jews, right away, and especially in today's world, you're going to have people thinking, Jews, killed Jews, oh my God, we're going to start talking about Holocaust, we're going to talk about Hitler, we're going to talk about Germany, World War II, and blah, blah, blah. But in fact, I will tell you that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, and his followers had absolutely no regard about religion as much as they did people themselves. And there was never such a thing as being prejudiced against the Jews in Islam. And if any of the Muslims today are suffering from that, they need to do what we call a mental enema and get rid of some of this filth, because this is very wrong to have that kind of a position. The position of the Muslim is that we hate evil. We don't have to hate people, but we hate the evil that some people do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if a group of people do X or Y or Z, we don't necessarily attribute that to their religious background. We attribute it to the person. Now, if they do good, and it's in their religion to do good, that makes sense. But when you find people acting contrary to what their religion teaches, then that's not representation of their religion, right? So we wouldn't like it if people tell us today, well, you Muslims are all in a violent religion, because we know that although some Muslims do violence, it doesn't represent Islam. Likewise, we wouldn't like it if you said that all these Jews at the time of Muhammad were violent people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that the people that you're referring to weren't Jews necessarily, but what they were is people who were guilty of a very serious crime, regardless of their religious ethnicity. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what Islam is ordering to be punished is the guilty people. These people were guilty of some very heinous crimes. And our Sheikh can give us the details on that. But the point is here, these people were guilty people, and it had nothing to do with the fact whether they were Jew, Christian, atheists, or even Muslims. Anyone who had done the crimes they committed would still have found themselves in the same predicament.
Jazakallah khair. Before I go to Sheikh Muhammad, I've just got a call from Sister Umar from the United States of America. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair. First, I'd like to say Jazakallah khair to all of you for
Barakallah
providing
fiik.
this very needed show. My question is such that I wanted to know that Islamically, we all know what are the roles and responsibilities of the son towards his parents. What I would like to know is, in Islam, what does Islam say about, for instance, as a wife, what is my responsibility to my parents after marriage? in terms of should I buy them gifts or spend money on them, etc., and my in-laws. And likewise for my husband, what is his responsibility in Islam towards his in-laws? Jazakumullah khair.
وجزاكم.
Barakallahu fiki. Sister Umar there from the United States of America. Okay, Sheikh, the history behind this event, some information please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه ثم أما بعد. Exactly as the Sheikh mentioned, that religion is the source of peace. It provides the religious person, the one who has religious commitment, peace. Peace between him and his Creator, peace between him and every living creature, between him and himself, within himself. It brings peace to his inner self. This is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, even dealing with those who are not following your own religion. Allah the Almighty says in the Quran, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. Allah does not forbid you from being kind, gentle, and nice to those who did not fight against you, nor did they kick you out of your homes based or on the account of your religion. So if they are peaceful to you, you must be peaceful to them. As a matter of fact, Allah wants you to deal with them justly and to be kind to them. In another verse, we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, even your relationship to your enemies, if they decide to adopt peace, وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسَّلْمِ فَجْنَحْ لَهَا وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If they want peace, then you should submit to that. You should agree to that. So this is the very first fact. Second, Jamil, if I happen to tell you that, did you know so and so, he was executed. You say, sorry, why? What happened? First you ask about the reason. Before saying that that's not justified, this is wrong, you have to know why was he crucified? Why was he executed? Maybe because he was a drug dealer, because he murdered somebody else, and so on. Al-Qasas. So let's know about the historical fact behind the incident of Bani Qurayza. Once the Prophet ﷺ arrived to Al-Madinah, amongst the very first missions he took upon himself to establish peace. To establish peace with the residents of Al-Madinah. With the Jews, there were three major tribes, Banu Qaniqa', Banu Nadir, and Banu Qurayza. Amongst the articles of the treaty which the Prophet ﷺ have agreed to it with them is to defend Al-Madinah against anyone who would attack or try to invade Al-Madinah, whether against the Jews or against Muslims. So what happened? They did not fulfill this commitment. And they did not really maintain this agreement and covenant. And this is their nature. So what happened to them? On the 5th year and 2 years after the Battle of Uhud, the Meccans gathered a huge army that the Peninsula have never ever seen anything like that before, of 10,000 warriors, of all the Arabic tribes, the Bedouins, and their allies of the Jews financed that as well, to attack Al-Madinah and invade it. And the Prophet ﷺ did not know what to do, and it was Salman al-Farisi who suggested that to dig the trench.
Exactly.
That is the battle of the ditch or the trench, and it was all recorded in the Quran under the chapter of Al-Ahzab, or the Confederates, because the army was made of Confederates or parties. Well, it was now the turn of the Jews, according to the articles of the treaty, to support Muslims. And Nabi ﷺ did not ask them any of that. Rather, he just wanted them to stay on a side, not to intervene. And while the Muslims' army was facing the enemies right in front of the trench, the front yard, and they were trying to invade Al-Madinah, 10,000 of them, there was a person by the name Huyay ibn Akhtab, who was the chief of the Jews of Bani al-Nadir, went to his correspondent of Ka'b ibn Asad, the chief of Bani Qurayza, this particular tribe, which was also in a covenant with the Prophet ﷺ and a peace treaty. He tried to convince him, this is it, man, they got him, this is it. Muhammad is over, Muslims are no more existing. This is it, we have to have the Confederates and the Meccans to take him out. So he managed to convince him. So he decided to break his covenant with Muslims. When and where? Right on the spot, while Muslims were on the front yard facing the enemies, leaving behind in Al-Madinah only women and children, innocent people. So what did they do? They sent some of them to spy so that they would attack women in their fortress, women and children. And when they did that, there was a woman by the name Safiya, Safiya by the name is the Prophet's aunt, may Allah be pleased with her. She's the mother of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. She saw one of them was spying and he was trying to collect some news. She ran down and she hit him with an iron rod. And she killed him right on the spot. And when the Jews saw that what happened to their friend, they realized that Muhammad was very smart and he left behind a whole army to protect Al-Madinah from inside. So initially, they planned to sandwich the Muslims. Banu Qurayza and their warriors from inside, and the Confederates from outside. Not only that, they supplied the Confederates with the supply, with whatever they needed of food or water supplies, and this is when the Muslims confiscated 20 camels were loaded with food supply, which was going to
the enemy.
To the enemies. When and where? Right on the battlefield. That was a very critical moment, the most critical moment in the life of Muslims at all. What happened is, once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defeated the Confederates, and all of that was recorded in details في Surah Al-Ahzab, through His will, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a hurricane, severe one, that blew their tents away and their vessels, so they decided to back off and go back. All of a sudden, without bloodshed, without anything. And who's left behind? Now Banu Qurayza, to face their fate. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this is a very important lesson that every Muslim must pay attention to. And those people of today, today's leaders of the modern world, who take preemptive strikes against innocent people and kill millions, they need to listen to what the Prophet ﷺ did before accusing Islam and Muslims and pointing fingers to Islam and Muslims as not peaceful people. And Nabi ﷺ sent 3 very trustworthy companions to investigate the case and to see if these guys really broke the treaty and violated the covenant, or it was a rumor. And this is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. Before responding, you have to verify the news. So He sent As-Sa'dayn.
Surah Al-Hujurat, yeah?
نعم, Surah Al-Hujurat, or the rooms. So He sent Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, وَسَعْد ibn Ubadah, وَعَبْدُاللَّهِ ibn Rawaha, 3 leaders of their own people. They went and they investigated the case, and they found that not only that Banu Qurayza was preparing themselves also to attack the Muslims after they return from this battle. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam marched down home, and he was ready to take off his clothes. Jibreel alayhi salam, Angel Gabriel, whom they hate a lot, came down and said, "What are you doing, O Muhammad?" He said, "I'm taking off my battle clothes." He said, "Not yet. The angels have not taken theirs yet off. You have to follow us to Banu Qurayza." And this is when the Prophet ﷺ says, "Whosoever believes in Allah and listens to my statement should not pray Asr here. Should pray Asr in Banu Qurayza." This is a very immediate command that we have to march down to Banu Qurayza to teach them a lesson. So when they went there and they besieged them, by the way, the Confederates besieged the Muslims for almost a whole month. So it was not just a rumor, no, it was something going on for a whole month. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the critical situation of Muslims in Surah Al-Ahzab when He says, وَإِذْ زَاغَتِ الْأَبْصَارُ وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرُ وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ. Remember what happened? Your eyes grew wild. You could not believe your eyes. That you're being sandwiched. There is a risk in front of you and a danger behind you in Al-Madinah. وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرُ. It is a metaphor that the hearts have reached to the throats. Great risk, great danger. وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ. And people started thinking bad thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be defeated, Allah will not support them, this is it, and so on. So that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam marched down to Banu Qurayza, and they besieged them. There came Al-Aws, a tribe of the Muslims, and they said, "Ya Rasulullah, Banu Qurayza, the Jewish tribe, were our allies in Jahiliyyah before Islam. Would you give them a break and so on?" He said, "Would you accept the ruling, the judgment of your own leader, Sa'd ibn Mu'adh?" They all, fine. They said, fine, this is it. So they all agreed to agree and comply with the judgment of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. Sa'd ibn Mu'adh came, and his ruling and his judgment was as the following. He said that their warriors should be killed for their teacher because they betrayed. And they posed a great threat to the Muslims right on the battlefield. They provided the enemies with war supplies and with food. And they attacked our women and our children. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahu Akbar, Ya Sa'd. He just passed the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from above 7 heavens. And this is what happened. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we should not say that he killed 600 Jews. That's not true. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam only killed and executed the warriors who wanted to take the Muslims while they were right on the battlefield.
And it had nothing to do with being Jewish.
Exactly.
It had
or
nothing
otherwise,
to do
what Allah
with even being from the Beni Qurayza. It had to do
It happened
with
to be
because of their guilt of the sins that they committed only.
correct.
So, if somebody steals, it doesn't matter who his father is.
In today's world, somebody wages a war against an innocent nation and takes out the life of over 1 million people, preemptive strike, for a lie. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never did that. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam investigated the case. And when that was proven, he did not kill their women, nor did he kill their children, nor did he burn their homes. Mass destruction, collateral damage, he did not do any of that. Rather, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam accepted the ruling of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, and he said,
Who is from their own tribe.
no, he was not, but he was their ally. Sa'd ibn Mu'adh was the leader of Al-Aws. There were 2 main Arabic tribes, Al-Aws wal Khazraj.
Okay.
Okay, so he was in what you say, in a treaty with them, and they were their allies before Islam. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not mind any of that. And his ruling came that obviously these guys were perpetrators.
Yes.
If you like the term, we hear it a lot today. And perpetrators, they send them to military court and they end up executing them. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not do any more than what would people do today.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, we've got a live call. Sister Rashan from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Sister, you're live and ask Huda your question, please. Sister.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I would like to know about the menstruation. Sheikh said not to touch the Quran during our menstruation. So I would like to know evidence from Sahih Hadith. And Sheikh said that we have to wear the gloves. So does the impurity goes by wearing the gloves, or does the impurity lies in the hands?
Okay.
And the second doubt is, Quran says it is Huda linnas. 25% of the woman's life is spent in menstruation. So what if she has some problems in life and she has to face problems, and why this privilege of consoling her heart by reading the Quran has been taken away from her? And when we do dawa work, and some sheikhs say we can give the translation of the Holy Quran to the non-Muslims. So are the Muslimah women worse than them during menstruation period? And some I have heard also that during menstruation we can recite the verses from the Holy Quran which we have memorized. So what is the difference in reading the Quran or reciting? Anyway, the meaning of the Quran is...
Okay, we'll go through all those, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, sister.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Brother Fasir now from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Also, Brother Fasir, you're live and ask Huda your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for calling.
Sheikh, I want to know that which one of the following is better? Giving sadaqah jariyah to some trusted Muslim organization, or personally giving money to some needy people? And my second thing is on the behalf of my mother, that she wants the CDs for visitors at home. So can you please provide them?
Okay,
Inshallah, we'll check on that. Wa jazakum.
Okay. That's Brother Fasir from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, our young viewer there. Jazakallah khair, brother, for your questions. Sheikh, we had a question before, and it's from Sister Jumana from the United Arab Emirates, regarding using beads to recite, to do dhikr and adhkar on, and some of these beads are called misbah in the Arab world. In other words, they're called rosary beads. So Sister wants to know, are we allowed to use this?
Since I like the viewers to enjoy talking to Sheikh Yusuf, I would try my utmost to make my answers very brief this episode, inshallah.
Okay.
As far as using beads in tasbih, or what we call it, actually from the action of making tasbih, or say the tasbih, or the misbah as the Arab like to call it, it is neither bid'ah nor is it haram. But it is preferable that one should make tasbih on their finger joints, because there is a sound hadith that the Prophet ﷺ was addressing a group of women, and he said to them, اعقضن بالأنامل فإنهن مستنطقات, that your finger joints will be given the power of speaking out on the Day of Judgment.
Subhanallah.
So they're going to say that, oh Allah, do not punish us because He used to make tasbih on us.
Subhanallah.
So if we're talking about something that's allowed, but there's something better, in this case, we should adopt what's better. But it was mentioned that some people, some companions, some tabi'een, they used to count the pebbles or the stones to keep track.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to warn against one thing. Some people take the misbah or the tasbih as a fashion. I've seen some people wearing the tasbih around their neck, as this is a symbol of being a Muslim. Or following the sect of Islam. Islam should be only one party, following the Quran and the Sunnah. The tasbih does not represent anything. The misbah itself does not represent anything. But it is your sayings by the tongue and reflection by the heart. So that's why we've noticed some people making tasbih, keep moving the beads while they're talking, or watching a movie, or reading the news. So it's not the action of moving or counting on the tasbih, rather it is pondering the heart by the heart and saying it by the tongue. So the brief answer is, using the misbah is not haram, but it's preferable to make the tasbih on your finger joints.
Jazakallah khair. Okay,
Jazakallah khair.
I've got this question from Sister Safar now from Jordan. Sister, you're live and ask her your question, please, Sister.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question for either one of the sheikhs
Okay.
who might be able to answer, inshallah. I am a revert from the United States, which I'm sure sheikhs identify with.
Then the
And
question
I
is to
moved-
Sheikh Yusuf.
And I had moved to Jordan with my family, so my children can learn Arabic and Islam and the whole thing. But of course, my Christian family has had a major problem with that. What is the best thing to do and how to react to them as to not cut them ties, as it said in the Quran?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Sister.
I would kindly
Safar.
request Sheikh Yusuf
Yes.
to
He
answer
will-
this
the
question
Sheikh
right
will-
now.
You've got the question there, Sheikh. How to treat your family if they're Christians and you've become a Muslim, you've moved away from them.
I want to always caution anyone who comes to Islam about this subject. I'm one of the people who made the big mistake in the beginning of being way too harsh on my relatives when I entered into Islam. I was what we call gung-ho, immediately telling everybody, oh, Islam, Islam, you have to know it's Islam, you're going to go to hell. You know, it's really the background that I had as being a preacher was coming over into being a Muslim. But actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very clear on this subject in numerous places, but I'll give the reference that I usually use is in Surah Luqman. If you go by the numbers like I do, it's chapter 31. And in here, Luqman is giving the advice to his son and telling him how important it is to obey the parents in everything except Allah. Except for what? Except if they have you to worship something of which you have no knowledge, meaning other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a very clear statement. And so if you're understanding that Allah is saying obey them in everything except that, so this is clear. And we must give honor, dignity, respect, and really, as much as you can, give your love to them, even if they're attacking you, attacking Islam and so on, because you realize these are the people that raised you up. These are the people that had you in the first place. Your mother carried you inside of her for all those months and then delivered you in such pain and grief that she suffered. This mentioned in Quran like that. That she suffered, you know, in giving childbirth to you. Now, who are you to come back on her and tell her, you have to believe like this, you have to believe like that? It's not for you to do that. If she would like to believe, would like to know, this is another subject. But the first thing is you have to give the good treatment to your parents. And if Allah wants, He can soften their hearts through your good behavior.
Correct.
And I highly recommend that everybody consider this, because when I was trying to give the dawah to my dad, I was really tough on him on one subject. I came to find out later I was wrong.
Subhanallah.
Twice. Wrong in the subject of what I was talking about, and wrong in the way I was treating him. And as soon as I shut my mouth, within just a few days, he accepted Islam.
Allahu
Subhanallah.
Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
But the
The
guidance is from
methodology.
Allah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you call that? Menhaj in
Menhaj.
Arabic? Menhaj?
No.
The Menhaj of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was never like the be, you know, aggressive to the people and tell them, hey, you better accept Islam, or, you know,
Ud'u ila sabili
or to
rabbik.
turn your back on them, to leave them. Because Allah tells us in the Quran about that, don't break the ties of the arham, which is the plural of raham. And raham is from the rahama, or the mercy.
Correct.
And in Arabic, instead of saying uterus or womb, you have a beautiful word. It means the place of mercy where you're
Rahim.
conceived. Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it? It is.
I love Islam.
You know, Sheikh Yusuf, I wanted to share this beautiful news with you. Before we had another host. It was Musa Maguire.
Oh, yeah.
Have you met him?
Of course.
Okay, he spoke to me recently. And by the way, Musa Maguire was enjoying his stay and his work with us and doing da'wah and study meanwhile. And he had to leave. The reason why he decided to leave this beautiful field of giving da'wah, because he wanted to focus on giving da'wah to his parents, particularly to his mother. He spoke to me recently and he said things are doing better, alhamdulillah, shukra, and he would like to convey his salam to all the viewers. So this is exactly what you're saying, and this is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ said, because he was just applying what Allah said in the Quran.
Can I tell you another thing that happened?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a dear friend who's in Toronto, Canada. His name is Ibrahim Downey. He's been doing the dawah in the prisons there for years. I go to visit him. We go to visit his mother. His mother's a Christian, a lovely lady. And he told me, he said, try to give her dawah, try to give her dawah. He said, I want you to talk to her. I said, okay. And I talked to him. When we left, he said, but you didn't give her the dawah. I said, yeah, I did. Because it's not what you say, it's how you act. The next time we met was on Hajj. And we just come from Arafat. So where were we? Muzdalifah. And you know how crowded it is. Anybody been there, and you know what's Muzdalifah? Huh? It's crowded. And would you believe, after we prayed Maghrib, Maghrib and Isha together, as soon as we did, I saw him. And I went to him, I said, Ibrahim. He said, Yusuf. He said, oh my God, you know I was on Arafat, I made dua that I would see you. Wallah. And I said, well, I did too, I made dua I would see you. And we were hugging each other, we were crying. And you know what he said? He said, Wallah, if Allah accepts my other dua, I'll be the happiest man in the world. I said, what was your other dua? He said that my mother would accept Islam. And when he stepped off the airplane, his mother greeted him there, wearing hijab. She had accepted Islam while he was gone.
Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest.
Wallahi.
Allahu Akbar.
And and he and she together made a video there in Toronto, and it's on the internet. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So sister, believe it. It is your actions, and it is your, your way, more so than these arguments. Don't pretend to be Ahmed Deedat Jr., okay? Don't do that. I made that mistake.
Okay,
Don't make that mistake.
We're running out of time before our break, but just on that point, Sheikh, about dua. I mean, many people leave the dua. Sometimes it's, like you said, it's the actions that we say in front of our parents. But what about the dua? Doesn't that hold a special place too?
We often mention the story of Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah was the most soft-hearted companion, to the point that the Prophet ﷺ called him the father of the little kitten.
Subhanallah.
His name was Abdurrahman ibn Sakhr. Abu Hurairah is his nickname. His kunya. Abu Hurairah had a mother who hated Islam the most, and she would slander Prophet Muhammad every time she would see Abu Hurairah, so that she would inform him that I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. So one day Abu Hurairah came to the Prophet ﷺ and he was crying and said, Ya Rasulullah, ask Allah to guide my mother. I cannot take it anymore. I cannot stand hearing her talking bad about you. And Nabi ﷺ raised his hand and says, Allahumma hadi umma Abi Hurairah. Oh Allah, guide Abu Hurairah's mother. This is the one, this is a woman who just a few hours ago she was insulting Islam and Muslims. The last thing ever Abu Hurairah would ever imagine that his mother would accept Islam that soon. Soon as he returned home and he was walking in, his mother says, stop it right there, wait. She was taking a shower. She said, I'm taking a shower. And when she finished and she dressed up, she came forward and she said, Ya Abu Hurairah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I was taking a bath of Islam. I was taking a bath of accepting Islam. Dua is the most powerful means of achieving any goal. You name it.
Dawah and dua are from
the same origin. Yep.
And so you make dawah in the day, but make dua in the night. And that
Allah,
waters the seeds
so
that you plant.
I love
Just
that.
let your tears run down and say, Allah, Allah, help them and guide them. Because Allah guides, not us. That's the problem we have. We think we're doing something. We're not doing it. Allah is doing it.
Sheikh Yusuf, I love this phrase so much. Let me reiterate it. You make da'wah during the day,
and make dua in the night.
Allah, may Allah bless you.
I got that from one of our brothers from Pakistan. I love that guy.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have Sister Salama from the United Arab Emirates on Ask Huda. Sister, your question please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm really so happy to see Sheikh Muhammad and Sheikh Yusuf.
Jazakallah.
mean Sheikh Yusuf and Sheikh
I love
Muhammad.
y'all for Allah. All of y'all. All the Huda TV, mashallah.
May Allah accept it from us.
I love all of y'all for Allah.
Jazakallah.
I benefit so much from y'all, so much. And everywhere I go, I say, watch Huda TV.
Jazakallah. May Allah accept it from us.
I just want to tell you all, please take your Huda TV to India, Pakistan, Kashmir, in their language, because people are going on ignorance too much.
Very good.
Please, I
Good.
beg you all, take in their language, because they don't understand English, take in their language.
Make dua, sister, and Allah will make it happen.
I'm praying day and night. I'm praying day and night. I want you all to pray for them.
Ameen. Inshallah. May Allah accept it.
Because they cannot follow Islam in a nice way because all of the mixture of the kafir around them. Please pray for them and take in Urdu and Kashmir language, please.
Okay.
Okay, I want to ask, I want you all to pray for my mother also, to take her for Hajj.
Okay.
Okay, sister.
Allah make it
Please
easy
pray
for her
for
to perform Hajj.
And pray for my mother and my
for
sister
the
to do
Muslims,
hijrah in a Muslim country.
Ameen.
Please pray for them.
Okay.
And I'm very happy with you all. Allah bless you all, inshallah.
Jazakallah, sister.
Allah give you
Thank you
Jannat
so much.
al-Firdaus,
Allah yahfadhaki.
inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa
Alaikum
rahmatullah.
assalam.
Jazakallah
Wa
khair.
alaikum
Assalamu
assalam
alaikum
wa
wa
rahmatullahi
rahmatullahi
wa
wa barakatuh.
Okay, we're running out of time. We've got to take a break, inshallah. Stick with us. We'll see you, inshallah, in a couple of minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ask Huda. Let me remind you of our telephone numbers quickly. It should come up on the bottom of your screen. Country code is 202, then it's 38555, 248 or 249. Okay, straight away we've got a call. We've got Brother Muhammad Abdurrahman calling from Egypt. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please. I think we've lost that call there. Okay, brother, if you could call back, we'll put you straight through. Sheikh, I've got a question from Brother Abdullah. Okay, and he's calling from the
You
internet.
said Abdurrahman, Muhammad Abdurrahman?
Yes, Muhammad.
That's the name, well, that's a common name. That's the name of the guy who gave me Shahada.
I think maybe it's the same guy.
Nah, there's too many people named that here in this place.
We'll
Go
see.
ahead.
He's inshallah going to call back and we'll check that with you.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'll be something
That would
amazing.
be great.
inshallah. Okay, Brother Abdullah asked a question about hostility towards the honor of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu
Now
alayhi
we see this
wasallam.
hostility. It's going in many countries. Got these cartoons. A'udhu billahi min dhalik, from these. We ask Allah to stop these things and to honor our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many people are finding difficulty with this, like we should do. Living in the West, it's very difficult. What advice would you have, Sheikh?
This is something very near and dear to me as any Muslim, because we don't like anybody who's going to insult our Prophet sallallahu alaihi
Alayhi
wasallam.
salatu wassalam.
And it's very difficult sometimes for us to restrain ourselves, because you're talking about a person who is more to us
Our
really
parents, our family,
than Jesus is to some of the Christians. We don't worship Muhammad, but literally we, and I'm not joking when I say we practically worship the ground that he walked on, because we go to that area to do our tawaf. We go to the area where he walked to do sa'i between Safa and Marwa. So really, we worship the God that he worshipped, to the extent that the Prophet is so beloved to us.
We love the ground that he walked on.
Well, I'm not joking.
Yeah, absolutely.
We practically, so it's something that when anybody says anything about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is a good way to get in big trouble that you can't get out of with Muslims, because we have such respect, love, honor for him. At the same time, though, I have to caution myself and all of us as Muslims that we're not allowed to go beyond the boundaries of Islam.
Correct.
And as much as somebody would say this or that or draw a cartoon of him today, you have to remember that at the time he was alive, people did much worse than that. Well, he was in sajda. They put the entrails of a camel on his back. And when he got up from that, did he get up and go out with a sword and start chopping heads? No. And when people insulted it, one time, there was somebody who came and instead of, he said, Salam alaikum, to people to give peace. These people said, Salam alaikum, which is like a death of poison be on you. Something like this, And so his own wife got upset about that. So she started saying, and death on you, and the curse of Allah, and the curse. And he said, no, take it easy. Take it easy. Just say the same to you. That's all. Just say, wa'alaik.
And Allah accepts our dua and does not accept theirs. So when they say, Assalamu alaikum, or death be upon you, he only answered, and upon you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the thing that I'm trying to get at now is that we are Muslims who are very much in love with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So much so that you notice we always say sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alaihi wassalatu wassalam, and because we know that this is something to do as Muslim, to say peace be upon him. But at the same time, you have to realize these people are ignorant. They do not know. They do not understand. For the most part, they are really ignorant of the facts. So let us at least consider that the Prophet ﷺ wouldn't react that way, and he didn't react that way. People were very vile to him, mistreated him and his companions in such a way that for 13 years they weren't even allowed to fight back other than just normal self-defense. That was it, in 13 years. So how are we, we're not even giving these people a chance.
So what's
hold on a second.
That's the thing we're going to say.
No,
what do you
there's
do
a
now?
but that goes with this. In the case of the one who knows, and the case of the one who's continually doing the same thing over and over, and they're taking advantage now of you thinking, okay, you're just going to roll over and let me do that. Now, I don't go along with that, and I'm not sure what I'm talking about. We went up to Denmark, and we had a special program there, and then we televised it, and we brought all of these journalists and photographers and the picture drawers together. We fed them. We gave them a feast and a banquet, and we gave them scholars who came, Jamal Bedawi, the sister Yvonne Ridley, and myself, and I think we had Imam Qasim was there. We had a lot of people there. And they were doing their best to explain kindly, gently, giving out free booklets, pamphlets, Qur'ans, whatever they would like to know, ask any questions. And when it was all over with, we said, okay, we did our best. As we were leaving, and I'm in the little trolley thing going out to the airport, right? I look at the newspaper, and there's a picture of me. And how do you think the picture of me looked? Like this. I'm thinking, I never made a face like that. How did they get such a face?
Have laugh.
No, what they did, they were taking pictures.
They take about 100 a second.
Yeah, 100 a second. And when I
laughing.
was playing with the children, and I was talking to them like this, and they got, and they put on there that here's a quote from them saying, we said that we came to kill all the Jews and Christians.
Oh my God.
The very thing we told them the Quran doesn't say that it's not a teaching of Islam, and they said the opposite.
So what do you do now?
Wait a minute, I'm not done. The next picture, on the next page, there's 3 women totally covered up head to toe, and it says, and this is the oppression these Arabs are doing on these Muslim women, that kind of thing. They give it,
They're giving it the whole.
There were no women dressed like that at the whole thing. The whole program was there. Every woman, their faces are showing, they're wearing different colors, and some didn't have hijab at all. Okay? Where they got the picture? It was my wife and 2 daughters. And they're not even Arabs, they're from Texas. They like to dress like that, and they were like that. And they use that. I said, how, after these women sat there and talked with them, could they do such a thing as this? And I was getting upset. And listen to what they said back. I said, we should sue them. We should go to court. They said, we have the freedom of speech in our country. So I wrote an article. We have our own news site. It's called IslamNewsroom.com. You like to ask my commercials into your show?
Is that Islam hyphen?
IslamNewsroom.com. One word.
Too many websites, Sheikh Yusuf sponsored.
Okay, but on there I wrote an article. You can check it out. It's called Freedom to Lie.
Correct.
Yeah. And expose them for it. But at the same time, I still would never consider something physical, because that wouldn't be right.
Well, what happens actually is a reflection of the weakness of the entire Ummah at large. 1.5 billion Muslims. When the Prophet is slandered, means every one of them is being slandered.
True.
So there are so many different ways that we can stop this, put a stop to this, through also the free speech, the free press, and the freedom of consuming a product versus not consuming a product.
Guess what?
Sure.
I have another article for them too. I'll tell you the whole article in the sentence, the title of the article. If they lie, we don't buy.
Wouldn't buy. True.
They're live, we don't buy. I like all of these sayings. I'm going to use. Okay, I've got a surprise for you.
I'm ready.
Muhammad Abdul Rahman from Cairo, brother. You're live on Ask Huda. Your question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum
That's
assalam.
Muhammad Abdul Rahman.
That's right.
That's
him.
his voice.
That's him. Inshallah, I do
Yusuf
believe.
Estes.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatu wal ikram.
MashaAllah.
Been a long time.
Oh my God.
Long travel from Virginia now to here. I remember that you left us in Texas, but okay, we forgive you, brother.
Okay, this is Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahman, the brother.
I know who it is. I recognize his voice. This is the one who gave me the dawah. This is the man who gave me shahada.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. How are you?
Salam, Dr. Muhammad.
So you're currently in Egypt.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
It's an honor to speak to you, Akhi. Barakallah fikum.
Oh, it's really my
For
honor.
the brothers and sisters, the viewers who do not know who is Muhammad Abdul Rahman, he is the man who impressed Sheikh Yusuf through his behavior, not sayings. He did not say much, rather he only acted upon the teachings of the deen. And he ended up with 5 members of the same family accepting Islam without really giving a speech, without delivering a khutbah or a sermon. Rather, he just practiced his deen without showing off. And out of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided Sheikh Yusuf, and on his hands, thousands of people have accepted Islam. So you get the reward of that. And also, Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahman, I truly envy you. I truly envy you. And I would
We've
like
got to get him. Where are you in Egypt right now?
I'm in Cairo, sir.
Cairo, that's close to us.
Yeah.
We're in the new city place.
Sure,
It's called 6
I gotta see you
October.
this time.
you don't mind attending with us, inshallah, tomorrow. Is it going to be tomorrow?
Can he come on the show?
Tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay, we'll tell the directors to get hold of Brother Muhammad, inshallah, and bring him in, and we'll do something.
Okay, everybody at home, listen up, listen up. You guys tell everybody you know to tell everybody they know to tell everybody that they know who knows anybody who doesn't know anybody to watch tomorrow night on Huda TV live. We're going to have him. Will he come?
I think he's going to have to come. You're going to come, Sheikh, yes?
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
confirmed
come
now,
by,
inshallah, for
It's my
life.
pleasure, really, and to see you,
MashaAllah.
all of you, and Sheikh Yusuf.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, that will...
Oh, that'll be great.
Inshallah. But,
Oh my God, that'll be
I'm glad
great.
you are in Egypt. You are most welcome on behalf of all your brothers, and I understand your daughter also is here.
Yes, she is. She's
I've
here.
been told that yesterday, and that's why I
Allahu
again
Akbar.
most
Allahu Akbar.
welcome you, and thanks for Dr. Muhammad and for Al-Huda TV.
I believe I myself also very excited to watch this meeting.
Inshallah, I'm looking forward to it too, inshallah. Okay.
I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad.
Jazakallah khair.
That's Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahman, a very close
You know, I
friend of ours,
forgot to
inshallah.
tell him to bring some fool when he comes. He always telling me about Egyptian
Okay,
fool.
got to bring the fool, Brother Muhammad. That's a shart, that's a condition, huh?
What is fool?
Fool is beans.
Beans. We have those in Texas.
Okay, so we've got a call now. Sister Amina from Egypt too. Sister, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's an honor to speak to all of you,
Jazakallah.
especially Sheikh Yusuf. You don't believe that I wish before 3 minutes ago I listened to Muhammad Abdul Rahman and Mr. Yusuf. I'm very happy.
Jazakallah khair, sister.
I wish you meet him and both of them, and I wanted to watch.
Tomorrow on Huda, inshallah. If you tune in the evening, inshallah, it should be there, inshallah.
Thank you.
Barakallah fiqh, sister. Do you have a question, sister?
No, I only
Jazakallah
I
khair.
need to say I'm very happy to by Mr. Yusuf. I'm very, very happy and very, very proud by Mr. Muhammad Abdul Rahman. And
Jazakallah khair,
I
sister.
can't say anymore.
Be sure to make dua for him. This guy, he needs more dua.
Jazakallah khair.
You know how I know?
I wish I could be
need to
just
watch it.
him, like him.
Jazakallah
Did
khair,
I
sister.
tell you? This guy's not married. We need to get him married.
Okay, I mean, we'll see tomorrow,
We'll
inshallah.
work on that, inshallah.
Maybe we can do everything we can tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, I've got one question, Sheikh. Sister Aisha from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's connected again to the Prophet ﷺ we just spoke about.
Yes.
The sister asked a question. Are we able to see the Prophet ﷺ in a dream? Is this possible? And can it happen?
alayhi salatu wassalam. Well, based on the sound references, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in the sound hadith, which is collected by Imam Bukhari or Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them. مَنْ رَآنِي فِي الْمَنَامِ فَقَدْ رَآنِي حَقًّا. In the text of Muslim, فَسَوْفَ يَرَانِي يَقَظَةً. Whosoever sees me in a night vision, have seen me truly. That's me. فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَا يَتَمَثَّلُ فِي صُورَتِي. In another version, he will see me while awake. Indicating two things. Number one, if you happen to see the Prophet ﷺ in a dream or a night vision, that's him.
Okay.
A shaitan could resemble anyone in your dream, or even alive, appear in the form or the shape of anyone, but not the Prophet ﷺ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ban him totally from appearing as the Prophet ﷺ. This is the first fact. The second, the good news which is delivered in the text of Al-Bukhari, that if you see the Prophet ﷺ in a dream, that means inshallah you will be blessed of seeing him while alive. Inshallah you will enter paradise and get to see the Prophet ﷺ as well. There are a few things are related to that. Number one, some people go to the extreme and they live in dreams. Their entire life is around seeing dreams and interpreting them. So they live in dreams, not in reality. We need to indicate the first fact is, number one, that seeing the Prophet ﷺ is definitely a good news and is a bishara. But if it is him, Muhammad ibn Sirin, the great interpreter of the dreams, if somebody would come to him with a dream and say, I saw the Prophet ﷺ is telling me this and this and that, his very first question will be, okay, describe him to me. How did he look like? So if he gives the same traits and description of the Prophet ﷺ, he says, that's him. Second, it was also with Abdullah ibn Abbas, the Prophet's cousin, may Allah be pleased with him, and his father, who did that with somebody. A tabi'i came to him and said, I have seen the Prophet ﷺ in a dream. He said, describe him to me. He kept describing him and he said, the conclusion, he looks like Al-Hasan. Al-Hasan is the son of Ali, the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, you're right, that's him. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The second fact is, if you see a dream and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives you an advice or a nasiha, that's perfectly fine. But if you see a dream and somebody says, oh, I am the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and I said, I love you so much and you don't have to pray anymore because you're very dear to me. Oh, listen to this. Every once in a while, we see, we hear, and we watch sheets and papers, emails, messages, text messages, and now with the computer and with the technology, it's using the high tech as well, that somebody who happened to be the servant or the guard of the room of the Prophet ﷺ and his qabr in Al-Masjid Al-Nabawi have seen a dream. His name is Sheikh Ahmed, and he says that he's not too happy with the performance of his ummah.
This is a lie. It's a big lie.
They have to do this and this and that. So if you publish 30 copies of this, your business will prosper, and your son will graduate, and your daughter will get married, and your wife will conceive. All of that, we say that's a lie. There is no person, there is no such person, but his name was guarded in the room of the Prophet ﷺ.
That's true.
And if any person sees in a night vision anything to tell him to do or not to do anything that's in conflict with the commands of the Sharia, that's a shaitan. Because the wahy, the revelation, the inspiration have been seized by the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The companions were crying. Nasiba, may Allah be pleased with her, she was crying. Why? Not simply by just the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said that Allah said, "Innaka mayyitun wa innahum mayyitun." All of you gonna die. وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انقلبتم عَلَى أَعْقَابِكُم. Yes, we admit to this fact. We know that he's gonna die sooner or later. But she was crying simply because the wahy has been seized. There is no wahy anymore. There is no more wahy. There is no more revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So keep this as an ear in your ear. If anybody says that Rasulullah came to me in a dream and said, for instance, tomorrow is going to be Ramadan. If we sight the moon and tomorrow is Ramadan, tomorrow is Ramadan. What if we don't sight the moon and the person is not born yet? We're not going to fast. Not simply because of a dream. Even if you claim that it was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So once, when you see him, if the same description fits, then that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is good news for you. Second, if he tells you anything, person or an advice, I know a girl that she used to wear very revealing clothes. Then all of a sudden she came once and she was wearing a total hijab from head to toe. I did not recognize her. She said, I have seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a night vision, and he said, shame on you, isn't it about time to cover up? So she responded immediately. That's a good night vision. But there is no wahy no more after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't want this meeting to end up or to finish, but unfortunately we're racing against time, and the director is telling me, unfortunately, we ran out of time. We'll leave you there, and I will turn it to Brother.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for all your answers today, and Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.
It's great to be with you.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah. I've just been told by those in charge that tomorrow, between 8 and 9 o'clock, we're going to have a special edition of The Straight Path with yourself, Sheikh Yusuf, and your friend Muhammad Abdul Rahman. So please don't miss this episode. I'm going to
tell everybody.
I'm going to be glued to the TV for that. Okay, so don't miss the episode. Just one more thing: www.islamnewsroom.com. If you want to know all the latest about Islam from Sheikh Yusuf's website, I'll leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Jazakallah khair.